Yeah.
Time for the Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
First up on Weird and Wacky, a cave discovered on the moon could be home for humans. And the only thing that I'm thinking about as I'm looking at this is that image from Star Wars where they almost get eaten by the giant space worm that was in the cave where they landed the Millennium Falcon.
Yes. Obviously, that's where the space worms are. What are you doing? Why are you trying to make us worm food?
I think they need to go down there and check and make sure that it's not the insides of a space worm before they start building a colony.
Everybody knows it is, man. Everybody knows it is. Like that's the, I mean, listen, first of all, like the moon, everything with the moon was faked, clearly. And, any cave in the moon is a space worm. So like, that's just, everybody knows this. So, in fact, the moon's not even real. The whole moon, the whole thing, it's not even there. It's not even there. It's an optical illusion. The tides aren't real.
It's a set. The tides are fake. It's a wave machine. And the sun, that's also just the camera up top.
I told you about the tides, what Neil deGrasse Tyson taught about. Didn't I tell you about this on previous episode of Tech Talk, y'all?
You might have, and I probably forgot already.
So the tides don't actually come in and go out. The tides are affected by the moon. So the moon pulls the tides and the earth rolls into and out of high tide. And so really the earth is what's moving more than the tides are moving. It's kind of it's weird. So, from our perception, they come in and go out, but in reality, we're moving into them. So there you go. All right. Next up, soft robot can amputate and reattach his own legs because this is a great idea for humanity to continue to destroy itself like the Terminator. I mean, that's like straight out of Terminator, man. Like, what are you doing?
It's the Terminator goes moving and then gets to its limbs and reattaches it. It's just I don't even, man. I can't even. We don't need robots that can reconfigure themselves. That's a bad idea all around. So I did not tag this story, but it's somewhat related. I just this week read a story and this kind of freaked me out a little bit about ants and how ants will actually do amputations of legs and limbs of other ants if they are damaged and injured, so much so that they will have a better survival rate because of this. Like the ant that is injured on its leg will willingly allow another ant to gnaw off its leg to amputate it so that the ant can survive. I thought it was the freakiest thing ever. And this article made me reminded me of that a little bit, of like a robot self-amputating.
Dude,
and then,
that's just straight insane.
And they actually said like the medical advancements of ants is basically on par with human medicine when you look at this and what they're able to do to help their fellow colony mates survive. So crazy.
Okay. So one more thing back to Terminator in case you didn't. So Terminator 2, the one where the guy turns into liquid, right? That one. That actor, he taught himself to run like very mechanically and very, very fast for that role. But he also taught himself to fire a gun without blinking because a robot wouldn't blink when the gun fires. So dude was able, I don't know how you could possibly do that. Like if you clap in front of my face, I'm going to blink. But he taught himself, he legit taught himself to fire a gun without blinking. How crazy is that? So there you go.
That is weird stuff. Yeah. Like I can't even imagine how you would do that. How do you train yourself? I guess you do it enough times.
Maybe.
And,
I don't know.
Maybe he used toothpicks in his eyes for a while and then
that's probably it. That was it. Toothpicks. That's the way. Yeah.
Talk about sci-fi stuff and crazy stuff here. Dune-inspired spacesuit recycles astronauts' urine into drinkable water. Yum.
So my favorite part of this article is one line, and it says something to the effect of, in the spacesuits that the astronauts have used since the 1970s or whatever, there is an absorbent polymer to catch the Wait, no, just say diaper. It's okay. Just say diaper. Like right now they have a diaper and that's not ideal. So we're going to recycle the urine. Like, let's just be real about it. Absorbent polymer? Really? Like that's what you're going to go with? Like, no, it's, hey, honey, the baby's absorbent polymer is full. Could you help with, like, we need to, I'm not sure where's more absorbent polymer? Anybody go to Babies R Us? I need more absorbent polymer. I mean, I just,
do you remember in the movie, and I think this was real, Apollo 13, where they sat out on the craft for so long that one of them had to pee, and then they asked for permission, then they peed in the suit, and they, because there's no other way. You couldn't get out.
Yeah,
like you were kind of locked in.
And you're in, man.
Yeah.
You're in it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in. So I think this solution is better.
For sure better.
Taking it and recycling it. And I mean, this is 100% possible. It sounds gross, but really when you think about it, like ocean water, there's a bunch of animals that have peed and pooped in that.
And people. There's a bunch of people that have peed and pooped in that. Like, let's just be real.
And people too, right? But but I would say more animals have than humans.
No, for sure. Because
there's a lot of animals in the ocean, and they're doing it all the time.
I will say, if I ever find myself wearing a spacesuit that can recycle my urine, I get the feeling I'm going to have to be extraordinarily uncomfortable before that urine comes out of my body. Like, I'm going to really hold on a long time because I'm going to be like, I don't really want to drink it. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. It's going to be like that kind of thing, Like,
I mean,
the situation.
You can use the restroom and just not drink the water. Like, you just stay thirsty. Like,
okay, that's
not
probably
force
smarter.
You to drink
this is why we're friends. That's a great point.
It's not going to be like, well,
I'm
now
just going to get very dehydrated.
You must drink right now.
It's going to start squirting water right in your mouth immediately. Like, as soon as you pee out, you're like getting flood. Like, I can't do it. Right.
You can't do anything. Like, it's just this continual cycle. It just becomes.
It's just Matt streams. That is a good way to stay hydrated, I suppose. I mean, you're kind of like you're hydrated by default, right?
hey, you're not going to be able to do anything out there on your spacewalk because basically the whole time you're going to be doing this cycle.
Oh my gosh. All right. Wow. Okay. What's the last article we got? We got to keep going.
I don't know if it's you or me, but I can take it because you're still laughing. It seems like.
Oh my God.
It's actually a TikTok from Hank Azaria. It's talking to a palace guard in Simpsons characters. If you don't know, Hank Azaria does a number of the voices on The Simpsons. And very famously, the British palace guards don't ever react, crack a smile. It's the same thing with Marines too, like the ones that guard the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and places like that. Like, so he tries to get them to crack using a bunch of different voices from The Simpsons. The guard, I'll just go ahead and give you the spoiler, does not crack, but it's worth seeing. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Like hearing those voices come out of him like that were pretty great. But like, what's also wild to me about those guards, I was watching this guard right on the video, and it's not just that he doesn't smile, he doesn't move. And like, I'm not sure I can stand straight up and still for any meaningful length of time without moving, like at all. Right. Like he doesn't flinch, like nothing. You've got to train for that. Or like what's the training like? Okay, you want to be a palace guard? Great. You're going to go stand there in space number 9 for 5 hours, and we're going to video you. We'll let you know if you make it. I mean, is that the training? Like, what's the audition look like? Yeah, I don't know. So
I know, I don't know what it is for British guards. I know for Marines that guard the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, it is half an hour stints at a time. They are not still, of course, they are walking in that line kind of back and forth. Right. And in general, Marines that go through that, they usually are only in that company for about 6 months. That's about the limit of time that they're able to continue on in that kind of capacity. So I don't know what it is for British palace guards. I'm sure that they are only on duty, for a certain amount of time before they like get relieved and are able to take a break. But the one thing is funny with them is that, they've got these big fuzzy caps and you can't see their eyes because of them. Yeah. And I'm like, can they actually see out of those things? But it does give them this ability to move their eyes and blink without anybody noticing because it's hidden behind this big giant fur.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.